welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I thought I'd record a video of me painting in my journal. Now this is something I would like to do more of, so I'm kind of making a point of doing it more for my own benefit because I like journals and I've got this lovely new sketchbook that I want to fill out, and it's really nice to just fill it with paintings and also, you know, my experiences. So I'm doing this painting the week after I got back from my holiday in Cornwall. Now if you're from the UK, or even if you're not from the UK, Cornwall is the most southwesterly county in England. Very much should be its own country really. It's very different, very unique, very isolated in a way. Lots of tourists visit Cornwall, and the locals are very different to a large portion of the rest of the United Kingdom. My ancestors are Cornish. A large percentage of my DNA is from Cornwall, so it's actually really cool to go back there, and I feel more like I'm going home than actually going to where I was born. So yeah, it's really amazing and really lovely week away. We had fantastic weather, and I love being reminded of just how Mediterranean parts of Cornwall are, because you often think of England as being very wet, very cold, very grey, and whilst Cornwall is like that, it's actually a few degrees warmer than any other part of the country, and thus you can get amazing plants like succulents that thrive down there, and they are enormous. You know, aloe vera, other different types of rock roses, all these things, they just thrive, and it's amazing how big these plants get. Sometimes I struggle to believe I was actually only in Cornwall when I felt like I could have been easily in Greece or Turkey or something like that. And I currently live in Devon, which is the next county over, and it's amazing how different just crossing that border can be. It is awesome. So even though I wasn't fortunate enough to see one this time, I had to paint a chough. Now, chough are synonymous with Cornwall. They are one of the Cornwall is basically one of the strongholds for the Cornish dwarf, for the chough. It is found in other places in the world, especially in the British Isles. They are elsewhere, but Cornwall has just a massive population of them, and they're pretty rare. They're not extremely common. They are related to crows and ravens, and you kind of know the difference because of their bright red beaks and legs. So they're pretty special, and yeah, I would love to see one day. Wasn't lucky enough this time, but I still had to paint one because Cornwall. that was essentially my reasoning. But hey, they're kind of cute, so it was fun to do anyway. So this trip was actually really special for me. I weirdly had a dream. It sounds weird, doesn't it? I had a dream a few months ago where I visited this cottage, and I knew the cottage because I'd stayed there as a kid, and it has some significance in our family, which I'll talk about in a minute. But I had this dream, and my cat was there, and he guided me in my dream to a room. I think it might have been an attic in the cottage. I'm not sure the cottage actually had a proper attic anyway, or a loft or whatever you call it. But Dusty took me there, and in the attic in my dream there was a stack of handwritten poems by my granddad, and I just felt so, I don't even know what the word is, but compelled to go and stay in this cottage. And I don't know if people believe, or if you guys believe in, you know, things happening for a reason, or intuition, or, you know, kind of magical stuff in that way, or, you know, someone telling me to do something. But the dream was so powerful. I actually woke up in tears, but good tears, because it was about my granddad, who passed away a long time ago now. But he stayed in this cottage, and I actually paint this cottage later on in this video, so you'll see that in a bit. So the reason this cottage is significant is it was actually a cottage that my mum stayed at with her sisters and her parents when she was a kid, about 40 years ago or so now. And for her it was always this kind of adventurous place. Instead of going to a caravan campsite, which is quite normal in the UK, there's a cottage on site of one of these campsites, and as a treat they stayed in the cottage instead. And Mum tells me this story of when she was younger, her and her sisters broke out of the cottage at night and ran to get some midnight snacks and sweets from the local shop that was on site of the caravan site, and kind of broke back into the cottage. And it was something that their parents never knew about, and they've always felt very mischievous, and they knew it would not have gone down well at all with their parents if they knew. But I quite like that story, and I like the fact that my mum was so cheeky and mischievous when she was young. So when I stayed at the cottage, I had to make a point of also climbing out of the back window and envisioning myself as a kind of homage to my mum, doing the same thing over 40 years later. It was kind of cool, kind of cheeky, kind of fun, and I really liked it. This trip to the cottage was not actually the first time I'd ever stayed in it. The first time I want to say stayed in, because I don't think I ever actually rented it or kind of stayed in it on a holiday or anything. But the first time I was there was in the year of 1999, and my granddad stayed there for the eclipse. It was the eclipse that year that was really special in Cornwall, and I have vague memories of the eclipse itself, but I do remember my granddad staying there. And I think when I had that dream and I felt that calling to go stay in this cottage, I felt like my granddad was telling me in a way to go, and I don't know why. I still don't really know too much why I've kind of had to go, but it was really important to me, and it was really quite emotional. I found going to this cottage, knowing that my granddad had stayed there, that my mum, his daughter, had also stayed there. So it was like the third generation going to stay at this little cottage. It was very small, very cozy, very simple, but very kind of emotionally significant and quite powerful to go. I'm sure I'll work out in time quite the significance of why staying there was really important. For me, it just felt like I had to. It was just getting back and getting in touch with my loved ones, really. Now, my granddads, and if you haven't heard before, both of my granddads were artists, and I kind of attribute what I do to them, really. So I think it could be that, visiting them was getting in touch with the fact that I have this gift because I'm related to them, whether it's genetics or whether because I was encouraged by them to be creative as a kid. It was getting kind of all coming together, and it was really beautiful to stay there, feel like I was getting in touch with them, even though I haven't spoken to them in, well, my one granddad died in 98 and the other one I think 2002. It's 20 odd years since, and I think that's I miss them a lot. Without getting too emotional about it on this video, I do miss them a lot, and I think I would love to know what they'd think of me now, doing what I'm doing. I am an artist, I get to do this for a living, and as a big important step that I'm taking is launching a coaching business, so I get to help other artists achieve this too. So maybe that's what it is. It's just all coming together and tying it all together. And the trip just coincidentally landed basically a week or two before my official coaching business launch, so it feels pretty significant. And I like to think that my granddads are both with me now and keeping me on the straight and narrow, and reminding me why I'm doing what I'm doing when the times get tough, and money's not as great as it could be, or I'm drained because it's hard work, and it is hard work being an artist. It's not just a job, it's a lifestyle, and all of it can be quite draining, and I'm feeling quite emotional now just speaking about it, which is really odd, but it's important to kind of recognise that it's the life I lead, and I'm glad of it, even though I'm honest. I'll be honest with you, it is tiring and it is hard. And it can be scary when you don't know when, you're getting your next money in. So every little support that I get from you guys is a reminder of why I do this. And I've changed my tune yet again, started talking about this art and then all of a sudden gone off on a weird tangent, but I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I'm talking about it. So this video is kind of coming to a close now. It won't be a little bit, won't be much longer, so I'll leave you alone. And I just want to say thank you again, as always, for just being amazing and for being here and for your likes, your comments, your support, you joining me on Patreon, you commissioning me, you buying my prints, whatever it is that you do, even if it's just a like on my video. I can't express how much that means to me, because without you I wouldn't be able to do this. Honestly, I would not be able to do this. I would not be able to keep up the momentum. So I'm very grateful for you being here, and thank you again for listening to me rambling. I hope this video wasn't too tedious, but let me know in the comments, do you ever feel that connection with people that you don't have around you anymore and you want to kind of get back to them? Just have a chat. Let me know in the comments. Give this video a thumbs up, like if all those things. I'm sorry, I'm really emotional now. But yeah, subscribe if you're not already, and I can't wait to see you again for the next video. So goodbye guys.